Welcome to Barca News. It is May 9th, 2026, and Barcelona have beat Real Madrid to the signing of an incredibly promising midfielder in Spain. Also, update from English media outlets in regards to Marcus Rashford. And finally, a bombshell in regards to the future of Julian Alvarez. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Bo. We'll begin this video with the great news that Barcelona have beat Real Madrid to the signing of an incredibly promising midfielder whose name is Mateo Huna. Now, if you don't know who Mateo Huna is, he's an 11 years old midfielder who was or is currently playing for CD Oliver, someone who is considered one of the most highly regarded talents from Aragon, someone that Barcelona had been tracking for quite some time, and someone that, well, Real Madrid were trying to sign for quite some time. But Barcelona have beat Real Madrid to the signing of Mateo Huna, again, 11 years old midfielder who will be joining La Masia during next season. Well, he will continue his development as at one of the greatest academies in the world. And who knows, maybe one day he will become a Barcelona first team star. Now, why is this news relevant? You might wonder. It's like, hey, Mo, he's 11 years old. Who cares? Well, it's irrelevant for two reasons. Because before Lionel Messi became the greatest football player in history, well, he was some random 12-year-old that Barcelona signed that nobody knew about and nobody cared about, right? Before Lamine Yamal became, well, one of the best players in the world right now, he too was a, I think, 6 or 7-year-old little kid that nobody cared about. So these kind of deals do matter because you never know. Maybe Mateo Huna one day will be the star of a first team. Maybe not. But of course, it's always good to keep track of. And of course, this is also highlights the something I always talk about, which is that the Barcelona brand, ladies and gentlemen, is alive and well. And people still want to come to Barcelona despite the financial problems, despite the sporting problems we've had before the arrival of Flick. People still want to play at Barcelona. Even an 11-year-old kid who Madrid was set to sign him, there he is choosing Barcelona over Real Madrid. And of course, that just goes to show the academy that we have, because who would be dumb enough to say no to La Masia, the greatest academy in the world that continues to put out some of the best talent in history, not in the world, but in history. Because when La Masia gave us Messi, Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, Puyol, Piqué, etc., and we thought they were done, well, there comes Lamy, there comes Cubarsí, there comes Gavi, there comes Bernal, and the list goes on and on and on. The greatest academy in the world, ladies and gentlemen, La Masia, who just added another promising talent to their ranks. Now on to the next bit of news, because we do have more news from English media outlets, because there could be some changes in regards to Marcus Rashford's future. Now, as you know, Rashford is on loan until the end of the season with an option to buy worth 30 million euros. Barcelona not looking to activate that 30 million euro option to buy because they think, well, it's not worth it. Between the 30 million euro transfer fee plus the 20 million euro salary that Rashford has, is not something that Barcelona willing to invest on a player that, well, has not really proven to Barcelona that he's worth that investment. And of course, the update is not that, but the update is that his future, Rashford's future at Manchester United, hinges deeply on what's going to happen with their coach, because, well, they used to have Ruben Amorim, who was their coach. Ruben Amorim wanted nothing to do with Rashford. And this is how Rashford ended up at Barcelona on loan. That, of course, could have favored Barcelona in regards to the signing of the English attacker, because, well, Barcelona could have said, hey, we don't want to pay the 30. You got to give us a discount. And if not, you're stuck with a player that you don't want. But now that thing could change, or that posture could change, because, as you know, Manchester United do have an interim coach whose name is Michael Carrick. Michael Carrick has done a wonderful job stabilizing Manchester United. And right now, we don't know if he's going to be the coach or not. Now, if Michael Carrick does stay at Manchester United, that could change things, because he is still a big defender and a big fan of Marcus Rashford. And if Michael Carrick continues, he would want to see Rashford at Manchester United, which of course would take away leverage from Barcelona to negotiate a better offer. But if Michael Carrick leaves Manchester United and Man U brings someone else, well, all of a sudden we can be back to the Amorimi months where Man U didn't want anything to do with Rashford. I honestly hope that Michael Carrick does stay and that he begs and convinces everybody in the world that he needs Rashford at Man U, because the last thing I want to see is, well, Rashford at Barcelona. Anyways, let's move on to the big bombshell news that could change things because, ladies and gentlemen, Julian Alvarez now considering an exit out of Atletico de Madrid. And this is huge because, of course, Barcelona will be looking to sign a center forward this summer transfer market. Their number one target is Julian Alvarez, someone that Atletico Madrid have made it very clear they're not looking to sell. And in fact, they were preparing a contract extension offer to Julian Alvarez where they would increase his salary and, of course, increase the length of the contract. But now things have changed because Julian Alvarez's agent has met with Barcelona, Arsenal, and PSG, during which the agent of Julian has informed these three clubs that Julian has serious doubts about Atletico Madrid's project and that he could be leaving this summer transfer market. And this, of course, changes things because if Julian wanted to stay at Atletico and Atletico do not look to sell him, well, there's no need for them to negotiate with anyone or listen to anyone. But if all of a sudden Julian is looking to leave, well, that could force Atletico Madrid to come to the negotiation table. Now, does this mean that Barcelona will be able to sign Julian? I think it's a still pretty tall order because even if Julian tells Atletico, I want to leave, you need to negotiate for me. And even if that does force Atletico Madrid to the negotiation table, they're still going to want a high price tag, something that Barcelona cannot afford. But of course, this does change things because before it looked almost impossible. Now it looks less impossible. It's still pretty improbable, but not impossible as before. And by the way, just a side note, who is advising Julian Alvarez? He's either the dumbest guy in the world or his advisor's the dumbest guy in the world. I don't know. Because first of all, he was at Man City. He's playing as a nine, as a substitute for Haaland. He's not going to get minutes over Haaland because it's Haaland. And he decides, oh, here's a great idea. Let me extend my contract with Man City. He extends his contract and then he's like, wait a minute, I'm not playing. Yeah, motherfucker, you weren't playing before either. Why the hell did you renew? So then he decides, oh, let me leave. Okay, where do I go? Oh, here's an idea. Let me leave to a mediocre team with a mediocre coach called El Cholo Simeone. And then he joins Atletico Madrid and then they end up trophyless. And then he's like, oh, wait a minute. This project sucks. Yeah, motherfucker, it always did. Who the hell is advising this guy? But anyways, we'll see what happens with Julián Álvarez. We'll see whether him now doubting the Atletico Madrid project, which again, why would he have trust in it to begin with? I don't know. But anyways, we'll see whether him doubting this project could change things or whether this is just another ploy by his agent to try to get him a better contract extension, which if it does happen, it would just prove that he truly is the dumbest player in the world. Because why the hell would you want to stay at Atletico Madrid? Why the hell did you sign with Atletico Madrid to begin with, let alone stay with them? But anyways, let's end this video with some updates or news in regards to Robert Lewandowski because, well, every passing day, it looks more and more likely that Lewy could be leaving. Now, as you know, Barcelona want to extend the contract of Lewy by one more season with a reduced salary. Lewy initially wanted to stay at Barca and Barca only, but with the reduced minutes, he's now considering other options, including, of course, Juventus, who have made an official offer of 2 seasons for Lewy, starting role, 10 million euro salary. There's AC Milan who are interested but have yet to make an actual offer. And then there was the MLS Chicago Fire, who met with Pini Zahavi several times, were incredibly interested in Lewy. They were willing to offer him a lot of money and a contract similar to that of Messi, where he could have part ownership, etc., because they wanted to make him kind of like their star, just like Inter Miami made Messi their star. But Well, Chicago Fire had kind of pulled out of the race because it seemed that Lewy was staying in Barca. But now that it's not as sure that Lewy will be staying in Barca, Chicago Fire has, well, rejoined the race again, now offering him a 15 million euro contract, which, of course, it's a lot of money for someone who is 37 years old going on to 38, which, of course, well, complicates things even more because if Lewy already had doubts about joining Barca, now that he has an official offer from Juventus and an incredibly high offer from Chicago Fire, well, that could end up convincing him going somewhere else. But of course, we are going to have to wait and see. I imagine that decision will be announced pretty soon, especially if we win tomorrow against Real Penalties and become champions. But we'll see. Anyways, that is all, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. And as always, Viscarsa.